Rock 108. Hey, it's Ned hanging out here in the studio today. Can't wait till March. March is just going to be an exciting month because obviously winter is kind of winding down, but who cares about the seasons because Shinedown is going to be at the U.S. Cellular Center in Cedar Rapids on March 16th, and I have the man, the myth, the legend, frontman of the group, Brent Smith, on the phone with me. How's it going, man?
It's going well, man. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the big show. I know we got a few months till we get there. Tickets are on sale right now, but you're currently on tour right now, and you're in England, if I'm correct, right?
We actually leave tomorrow.
Okay.
We've got 6 weeks in the UK and in Europe, and we're quite excited about it. But, yeah, that's the next stop, and then, the rest of the year, making sure everybody gets as much family time as possible, and then get ready for 2019. It's interesting how we book everything in the band almost a year in advance now, which can be a little trying at times because you don't want to book everything super early, and then you have to look at the international side of what's going on with the band and things of that nature. But for us, just we wanted to make sure, and you make a point also about like the show, being a little ways away, but tickets are on sale.
Yeah.
We kind of borrowed that from England and the UK audiences because over there they will put shows on sale sometimes 4 to 6 months in advance.
Oh, wow.
And it's really a good idea because it gives the patrons and it gives the public enough time to, adjust and make sure that they have the money to, pay for the ticket so that they can go and stuff like that. Back in the day in the U.S., a lot of times, sometimes we would put shows on sale and, the promoter would only give the city like a month maybe or 2 months to get tickets. And a lot of times you miss out because, it's just too quick.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we thought we would put the tour that we're doing next year with Papa Roach and Asking Alexandria on a little bit earlier, plus the holidays are getting ready to happen and all that, just to give people time to, make sure that they can get the tickets for the show.
It's a good way, too, because, the big holiday season is just around the corner. It's a good opportunity for a stocking stuffer, Here's your tickets to the Shinedown show. Awesome, man. Well, you got the brand new album out now, Attention, Attention, latest single off the album, Get Up, which to me is an incredibly inspiring song. And, in today's world, I think everyone needs to just get a nice lift up. And I feel like that song kind of gets that out there. What was kind of the writing process and the inspiration of that one?
I've got to be very bold about this because there's no other way to really explain how Get Up happened.
Sure.
Because it's such an important song in regards to the album Attention, Attention. I wrote the song about Eric.
Okay.
Eric Bass, our bass player. And a lot of people don't know this, but the album Attention, Attention, Eric produced the record, he engineered the record, and he also mixed the album. This is the first record that the band has done in-house.
Cool.
But the thing about Get Up was once we had kind of like the musical layout of the song, me and Eric, I'm usually quick with lyrics because I'm the main lyricist in the band.
Right.
If I can't grab it within 24 hours or 48 hours, I'll usually go on to something else. So the interesting thing about Get Up was we had the melodies built and we had most of the music done. I told Eric, I remember, I said, hey, I'm going to take this tonight, go back to the hotel, and I'll come back in with something tomorrow.
Cool.
I didn't come back to the studio for 11 days, mainly because I knew what I was going to write it about, but I was afraid of crossing a line with me and Eric's friendship and our partnership.
Okay.
But long story short, I finally, he said, Brent, just come in and sing it, man, no matter what it is. And so I came in finally and did it, and then when I was listening back to the mix, I remember I came in the following day to give him time to kind of build the track after I had done the vocals.
Sure.
I listened to it once, and then I listened to it a second time, and I turned around, and I remember looking at Eric and saying to him, you know what this song is about, right? And he said, yeah, it's about me. And that fear of I've overstepped, I've crossed a line here.
Yeah.
He basically said, dude, I'm not mad. I understand where it comes from, and if we're going to go this deep and make a record this strong and this authentic, then we need to go all the way in. And so that line I was afraid of crossing with him, Eric just removed it. And, listen, Eric deals with something called clinical depression, and this isn't something where, and he's vocal about it, too, because it's important on this record. It's one of the subject matters that's talked about.
Yeah.
But the reality of that for him is it's not like he wakes up and he's got like a case of the Mondays someday, where like, it could be raining outside, or, you're just kind of, not feeling it that day. This is something that he has to kind of combat on a daily basis.
Right.
And the reality of that is why that is so important, and why Get Up is so important, is it is the definition of the album Attention, Attention. Because Get Up was the sounding board to Devil, and Get Up was also the sounding board to other songs on the album, like Dark Side, Brilliant, Pyro, Special, Kill Your Conscience, Creatures of Habit. It all came after Get Up was written, and that's really how we knew it was going to be a story album, and we knew exactly what we were going to do. So Get Up was a huge part of just understanding what the artistry was going to be of the album. And the whole thing about Attention, Attention is it's really a record about not being you should not be afraid of failure in your life. You're going to need to fail in life in order to understand what you need to do next time, because we don't believe that you're going to be defined by your failures in your lifetime. You're going to be defined by the fact that you refuse to give up, and that's a lot of what Attention, Attention and Get Up represents.
Man, you just blew my freaking mind.
Well, the only way I can do it, man, is just be honest about it. You're not the first one that said that since the album came out. But look, it goes back to Eric and removing that line. He said, if we're going to do this, then we have to go all in.
Absolutely,
which is exactly what we did.
Yeah, and it's working so damn well. That makes it so much more personal. I think not obviously for the band itself too, but I think for a lot of people out there, and hopefully that rings true to people. Like just because you're knocked down doesn't mean you can't keep moving, keep going forward. And I feel like that's what I get.
And I mean, the greatest minds in the world and the greatest, some of the most extraordinary leaders, male and female in the world, they will talk about their failures in their life as a way of understanding, like, look, this is how I got better at what I was doing. No one's perfect. You know what I mean? And if we were all perfect, then it would be boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just there's nothing to it. If you can do everything and anything, flawlessly, that's what makes us all human, is those imperfections. But you have to embrace those imperfections because it makes you who you are. But like I said, you're not going to be defined by those failures. You'll be defined by the fact that you refuse to give up.
Absolutely, man. And staying unique and personal to yourself, because everyone can be so-called normal. They can be normal all they want, but it's those differences in each one of our person that makes us, again, like you said, who we are, and defining and what we present onto the world of our own.
Couldn't have said it better, man.
Yeah, man. Now that kind of reminds me, obviously, like getting up and getting a move on. It reminds me of something that always fascinated me about you, and that and something I struggle with myself too, and that's weight loss. And back in the day, man, you did insanity workouts with Shaun T. Do you still do those?
Yeah, man. I actually, it's that program, which is a Beachbody program.
Right.
That goes all the way back to 2011, because that was, I, like a lot of people, I saw the infomercial, and I was like, I wonder if I can do that.
Right.
And I just got it, and the first time around on it, I didn't finish the program. I only got I think I got to the halfway point of the second month, but I lost 18 pounds.
Yeah.
But then, long story short, I still do those workouts to this day on the road. It's a great way to, you don't need any equipment, and you can do it in a small space. But me and the band, we work out together every day anyway. It's just part of our lifestyle. But yeah, I got to give a lot of props to Shaun T, to Shaun T over the years and a lot of his programs. But I also learned how to exercise and learned what I needed to do and really studied it and what have you. I mean, when it was all said and done, the main focus for me was, because I had ballooned up to, I'm 5'8", and in 2011, the beginning of that year, I weigh 222 pounds.
Yeah.
And if anybody can do the math there from a guy that's 5'8", that's a big boy. So, fast forward into the beginning of January of 2012, and I lost 70 pounds.
That's awesome,
I completely kind of had a complete metamorphosis, if you will. But you got to stay up on it too, man. I've just accepted and embraced, fitness and nutrition as part of my life. And I turned 40 in January of 2018, but I feel better and I look stronger now than when I was in my late 20s. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, it really is the truth. You just got to stay on it.
That's what I strive for, man. It's such a struggle sometimes just to like get up and get that moving. And it's just, I don't know, you wake up in the morning and it's just so easy just to jump in the shower and go to work. And I'm trying to find that balance, and it's so hard for me, man.
One of the ways to do it, man, and I know it seems a little bit difficult in the beginning, and listen, I've been there, looking at yourself in the mirror and kind of going, something's got to change, not only just from a physical standpoint, but, from, a psychological and a mental standpoint, and just your overall health. But how I did it, man, just kind of, I chipped away at it every day, man. A lot of times people will think about, they think a year or they think months down the line like, oh, this is going to be so difficult.
Yeah.
You got to try to reprogram your mindset in regards to physical activity, because you're not going to be able to jump into like, a Spartan race right out of the gate. You know what I mean? You got to do it one day at a time.
Right.
And each day and each week you'll see yourself you'll see the change, man. And when you really start to see it, it becomes very gratifying, and you start feeling better about yourself, and you start, being able to. I mean, we've got a crew member out with us who's been a huge part of our lives for the better part of 10 years. His name's Hoogie. He's pretty well known in the industry, but he's already lost 45 pounds this year, and he's got like another 40 to go. But I mean, Hoogie's a big dude, and he just made a conscious decision out there on the road, a lot by watching us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just one day, I remember him coming up at the the beginning of the year too, and just being like, "Hey, can I get in here with these workouts with you? I may not be able to keep up." And we were like, "Absolutely, dude."
Yeah,
cool. And to watch him, man, I mean, he just made a conscious decision that he wanted to look better and feel better, and he's looking awesome.
Awesome, man. Hey, if you can rope someone else into it too and make them feel better about themselves, then kudos. Hell yeah. Well, obviously we're getting pretty close to wrapping up here, man, because I know you got a bunch of other stuff. But one of the things that I ask every once in a while is like today's bands, or bands that are doing their thing today. And there's all those legendary bands out there, AC/DC, Queen, Kiss, whatever you want to name it. Being in the music industry as long as you have, who do you feel in the current rock world, or that have been around since 2000 to now, would you feel as though would be like the next legends? Like, what are those songs that you're going to be singing that are like played everywhere, like a Highway to Hell or a Bohemian Rhapsody? Personally, I'm not trying to be too much of that guy, but I put Shinedown on top of that list for that one. But what do you know anyone else that you feel as though would be like the next legends?
I feel like if I have to be very bold about it, and I think that some people, with what I'm getting ready to say, they may be like, "Well, duh," But I understand the question that you're asking.
Right.
It would be two. It would be two bands.
Okay.
It would be the Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that pedigree, and I think that just where Dave Grohl is right now, and where he is going.
Sure.
He's definitely reached that pinnacle of he's always going to. Let's put it this way: unless they want to play a theater or a club because they want to, that is a stadium band.
Oh, yeah.
And, the other one, I would say Pearl Jam, but they're kind of already at that place right now. They were just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right, yeah.
But, I can't completely put Pearl Jam in that category with the question that you ask, because they're kind of already there.
Yeah.
But I would say the Foo Fighters, and I would say the band Tool.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
because Tool's getting ready to release a new record. I have a little bit of an insight on some of that because I know a couple of people, and it's looking like 2019 is finally going to be the year that the new Tool record is released. I know they just signed on to do a bunch of European festivals.
Okay.
For next year. But those would be the two bands. That'd be the Foo Fighters and the band Tool. That's my opinion anyway.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'll wrap up with this final question. Halloween season is here, obviously. What is your favorite scary movie, and what are you dressing up for this Halloween season, costume-wise?
We're actually talking about everybody. We are actually in Manchester on Halloween night.
Cool.
And we have a surprise for everybody over there. I can't really say what it's going to be.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. We're all going to dress up like a certain horror film slasher movie icon that just happens to have a brand new movie out right now.
All right.
So I'll give you a little bit of a hint. So anyhow, but scary movie for me, that's such a difficult one, man, because like I've never really been into horror films or like scary films.
Sure.
But if I had to, I can tell you this: the scariest movie I ever saw, and still to this day, I will not watch it.
Okay.
Was the very first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, it had Johnny Depp in it too.
That movie, I watched it when I was in the 5th grade. I was at a friend of mine's house. I'll never forget it. And his older brother was watching it, and we all watched it. I had nightmares for 2 weeks. And still to this day, if that movie is on or something like that, I'm like, nope.
Changing that channel.
Like, I saw it once. That was enough. And, yeah, so definitely the Freaky Freddy films are those are the scary ones in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. And classics on top of that, too. Absolutely. Cool. Well, Brent, man, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure talking to you. And also make sure to check out Shinedown at the U.S. Cellular Center in Cedar Rapids on March 16th. Tickets are on sale right now. And if you're in Manchester on October 31st, you're going to see some scary stuff.
It's going to be cool. I promise. It'll be awesome.